Comic Uno. Today I'm doing a review for Vibe, Justice League of America Vibe, issue 4. But before I start talking about this issue, I just want to give you guys a little update that I have 2 reviews on Dark Avenger Inc. that I usually do on Comic Uno, which are Nova issue 4 and FF issue 7. So if you want to go check out those reviews, just go in the description below and there'll be a link for Dark Avenger Inc. And I have another update. I changed my YouTube layout to the new YouTube 1 layout, I think it's called. It's automatically changing in, I think, June 4th or something. So I was like, let me do it now and, get all ready and stuff. I don't want it automatically change by itself. So I have a new banner and stuff, new layout, and thank Mark Porn TV, my friend, who made the banner for me, which I think is awesome. So definitely wanted to give him credit for that because I think it is an awesome banner. But let's talk about Vibe issue 4. Let's talk about the cover. Very misleading cover. Usually when series are under the radar or not selling as well, I don't know if Vibe is selling well, I'm not sure, but I like the series, but I don't know if it's selling that well. But usually when these things happen, you have to throw in some big superhero, and that's Batman. You saw that with Dial H when we got Flash, so obviously Vibe has Batman. Batman doesn't show up in this issue. I mean, he technically does, but he technically doesn't. So, very misleading cover, but I do like the art for the cover, if that counts, but very misleading cover. But let's see if I like the story. So in this issue, we learn a little bit more about the main agent of Argus, or that's helping Vibe. So we get to learn a little bit more about him, making him a little bit more of a character in the series. And we also get to see Vibe on another mission. He has to find Gypsy, who's actually been a character since issue 1 that's been an interesting character, who has been in like a cubicle type of thing, a tube, that has the name right next to her tube was Vibe. So obviously she has kind of the same history as Vibe, and maybe Vibe will be captured by Argus also. And now in this issue, Vibe is actually trying to think, should I trust Argus, shouldn't I? Because he finds one of the people that he was supposed to capture, Breacher, and he says don't trust Argus. He's like, oh, who should I trust? But he's still trying to trust Argus, do his job, but also not trusting Argus while he tries to capture Gypsy, because Gypsy didn't do anything wrong. She just wants to go back home, but Argus doesn't want her to go back home. So Vibe's starting to learn a little bit more about Argus and see more of that, and what's it called? Amanda Waller is getting a little upset with Vibe because Vibe helped the enemy, or the enemy, Gypsy. And then somehow, randomly, the Suicide Squad's going to be in the next issue, but I guess we'll see more about that. Maybe a Suicide Squad, maybe we'll learn more about that. But I thought that was a little weird that we got a random Suicide Squad cliffhanger. But, yeah, that's what we got. I still thought this was a really solid issue, honestly. Even though there was a random Suicide Squad cliffhanger, like I said, and the Batman random kind of appearance and misleading cover with that. Honestly, this was a really solid issue. I still enjoyed it because I think Vibe is a very interesting character. It's just the way he approaches things, and that's why I really do like his solo series, and we get a lot of that in this. And I think we learn more about Gypsy as a character, which I was interested since issue 1 because they've been giving us little references to her, but we don't know totally why she's evolved with Argus and why she's captured. And now we're learning, is Argus really a good government agency, and that this is the agency behind Justice League of America. So obviously throughout, if you're reading Justice League of America Vibe, or if you're reading tie-ins to Justice League of America, you'll see that they're not really that trustworthy, and I think it's interesting to see that because the heroes, could they trust them? The heroes are fine. Justice League of America team is fine. It's just who's behind them isn't, and why they make the team. Is it really about the Justice League, and are they right? So it's very interesting going into the Trinity War, I will say, and they're referencing in this and also in Vibe, saying, should I trust Argus? And I think that was the most interesting part of this issue, and really I think that's been going on for a couple issues now with this series. But definitely really enjoyed this issue, even though there was also a change of art here. We have first type of art is this art, normal Vibe art. I think this was like in the first issue type of art. I actually like this art a lot better, even though the facial expressions are really weird. If I can show you that. Vibe has a couple weird facial expressions. Look at that. And that. This the Dante's facial expression. And Cisco's facial expression. That was kind of weird. So besides that, I think that this art was a little bit better. And also, the second type of art, which is most of this issue, I felt wasn't as good. So, you could compare that type of art to the beginning part of this issue. I hate when art changes because you know that means the artist didn't actually finish the issue and they need to bring another artist on. So I hate when the artist does change up, and I was a little disappointed with that because I did like the first type of art, even though with the weird facial expressions I did like it a little bit better. But yeah, so can't do anything about it though. That was just a little complaint. But still a really solid issue. I did enjoy the story as a whole. You know, just little problems here and there. That's why it wasn't a perfect issue, but really solid issue, and I'm excited to see where Vibe goes, because it's a very under-the-radar series. That's just, Vibe is a really under-the-radar character, honestly. I wasn't even going to pick up this series, but my friend Mark and Mike both picked it up, and they said, oh, I really enjoyed the first issue, and I was like, alright, let me pick it up. And I really enjoyed the first two issues a lot, and third issue, and now the fourth issue I enjoyed. I just like his character a lot. I think it's a very unique character, and I think he definitely makes us laugh, especially in Justice League of America. So he's an entertaining character. So if you haven't been picking up Vibe, definitely pick it up. Start with issue 1 and go to issue 4, I guess. It's a solid issue. Definitely not perfect issue, but still a very solid issue. So I give it 4 stars. I hope you guys enjoyed this Comic Uno. And guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter for Comic Uno in the right situations. I say pick this up, give it 4 stars, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.